Good morning, everyone. I'm Amrita, and as Aditi already spoke about sex and gender, I'd like to delve a little deeper and talk about the relationship between both, their distinct yet interconnected nature. We'll be examining the biological, social, and psychological roles and aspects of both to gain a comprehensive understanding about the complexity of human sexuality. First, let's get to lay out the foundation. We'll get our definition straight. Sex refers to the biological and physiological characteristics that differentiate males and females. As she already said, the biological factors are hormones, chromosomes, and gonads. Chromosomes XX usually signify a girl, XY a boy, and the gonads uterus is usually present in a female and testis is present in a male. Hormonal profiles signify the secondary sexual characteristics they're going to develop later on. At birth, individuals are assigned sex based on their external genitalia. However, it is essential to acknowledge the existence of intersex individuals who possess variations in the sex characteristics that do not fit in the traditional male and female categories. Conditions like androgen, insensitivity syndrome, and congenital adrenal hyperplasia exemplify these states. Then let's Furthermore, our understanding of sex has evolved, recognizing it as a spectrum rather than a binary. Traditional male female dichotomy oversimplifies the complexity of human sex and fails to account the variations that we can find in intersex individuals. Embracing and understanding these differences are important to have an inclusive society. Now let's turn towards gender. Unlike sex, which has biological characteristics, gender refers to the social and cultural roles, behaviors, and expectations associated with being male or female. It is a social construct. These expectations that society has towards member of a particular gender are usually termed as gender norms. Culture, history, and society make a huge impact on gender norms. The culture a person is in usually usually has a big impact on their gender expression. For example, in cultures that are rigid or strictly binary, people more set towards their gender norms, and in cultures which are more fluid, the gender roles are rather blurred. And gender roles are they also highly influence social roles, behavior expectations, and gender expressions. Society assigns specific expectations to individuals of a gender based on the stereotypes that are associated with masculinity and femininity. For instance, traditional gender roles may assign man to be a breadwinner and woman to be a more caregiving person. Moreover, gender norms also influence how individuals express themselves to others, including the clothing choices, grooming practices, and body language. Gender diversity is a new area that we're all delving into. Gender diversity recognizes that gender exists on a spectrum beyond the traditional male and female binary. It recognizes that gender identity is not solely based on biological sex. Individuals can identify as transgender, non binary, genderqueer, or other identities that align with their true selves. Embracing gender diversity fosters inclusivity and supports for all individuals. Now let's turn into the components of gender, which are gender identity and gender expression. Gender identity refers to an individual's deeply felt sense of their own gender. It is deeply personal and internal experience that may not align with the sex that was assigned to them. It is important to note that gender identity is distinct from biological sex. Now, cisgender are individuals that whose gender identity aligns with their biological sex. transgender individuals whose gender identity does not align with their biological sex, and these people may undergo social and medical transitions to align their physical appearance to the gender identity. Beyond the binary of male and female, there are non binary and gender diverse identities. Non binary individuals do not exclusively identify as male or female, they embrace a more fluid, out of the binary combination of genders. Gender expression refers to how individuals choose to present their gender identity to the world. It encompasses a wide range of behaviors, clothing choices, hairstyles, and more. Inclusivity is a very important topic that recognizes and respects the validity of diverse gender identities. To practice inclusivity, we could start using inclusive language, make more inclusive policies and practices, provide safe space for individuals to express their gender authentically. Education and awareness and fostering expectant acceptance are key in promoting inclusivity and affirming the rights and dignity of all individuals. Now we'll delve into the psychological part of gender identity. Gender dysphoria may be experienced by individuals whose gender identity does not align with their assigned sex at birth. Not this, it is very important to understand that it is not inherent to being transgender, but arises from societal expectations. Mental health care professionals play a crucial role in providing support and affirming care to such individuals. And concluding the meeting, I'd like to say that while sex and gender may appear closely related, it is essential to recognize that everyone's gender identity is personal and distinct. The relationship between sex and gender is complex and multifaceted. So let us strive to for a world where individuals are free to express their gender identity authentically without fear of judgment or exclusion. By embracing and accepting everyone's unique gender identity, we can foster more inclusive and compassionate society. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita, to presenting the relationship between the gender and the sex.